Interventions to support improved writing for students with language disorders. Students with disabilities often struggle with each step of the writing process. This includes pre-writing skills, including planning and organization of ideas, composition, and post-writing skills related to revision and editing. Some writing deficits that have been observed in the population of students with disabilities include reduced content or background knowledge on a subject, reduced executive functioning skills that can impact their planning and organization of writing, difficulty with reading comprehension, limited vocabulary, spelling and grammar or mechanical errors, limited sentence fluency, and a lack of voice in writing. The target classroom for these interventions consists of 6 students diagnosed with autism spectrum disorders, ages 14 to 16 years old. All students in this classroom exhibit delays in literacy skills. Whole classroom supports that are already in place include differentiation of learning materials across the board, visual aids for writing tasks, including graphic organizers, illustrations, and pictorial supports as needed, and the use of explicit small group instruction for novel material. Given the nature of the classroom, all instruction is considered small group instruction. These are generally referred to within this school setting as Tier 1 supports, given that the school is a private special education school. And so, while in a public school setting, these would be considered Tier 3 supports. These supports are in place throughout the entire school, so for the purposes of this presentation, they're referred to as Tier 1 supports. Student-specific supports, for example, Tiers 2 and 3 supports, include the use of a one-to-one teaching assistant for one student in the classroom, the use of individualized verbal and gestural prompts as needed to maintain attention to task for different students. In addition, progress is monitored individually for all students, and they're assessed according to progress from their own baseline instead of the use of whole class exams or assessments. Intervention targets to improve writing in this classroom will focus on transcription, sentence complexity, and composition skills. The reason for this is that transcription fluency has been shown to improve writing fluency by reducing the cognitive load required from students as they're writing. Sentence complexity and construction has been shown to improve students' command of syntax and their writing fluency and quality. And finally, improved composition skills result in better quality writing, increases in genre elements, and increased length of output. In order to target skills in each of these areas, whole class instruction should be designed accordingly. To target transcription, including spelling and handwriting skills, whole class instruction should include explicit phonics instruction for letter-sound correspondence, daily spelling practice, and immediate error correction during writing assignments, and this can be accomplished using computer programs such as Google Docs in the event that a teacher is not available to individually monitor each student's output as they write. These instructional approaches can be differentiated through the use of individualized worksheets or flashcards for sight words, so students working at different levels or with different target sight words can have that individualized approach. In addition, visual aids should be individualized for each student. One student may need a highlighted model to trace words, while another may just need highlighted portions of a paper to maintain their attention to the task. And cover, copy, compare exercises have been shown to increase spelling accuracy, but these can be differentiated for each student to include different target words depending on their ability level. Whole class instruction to support sentence level skills of writing include the use of mnemonics for steps to create complex sentences, sentence combining activities, and explicit grammar instruction within authentic contexts. This can be differentiated by providing small group direct instruction depending on students' ability levels, potentially regarding parts of speech, types of clauses, as well as individualized practice with target vocabulary and picture prompts differentiated to each student's needs and abilities. Writing prompts can also be individualized for each student in order to make sure that they're aligned with their interests and being written for authentic purposes that relate to that student's background, knowledge, and experiences. Finally, instructional approaches for composition can include mnemonics for planning for different types of texts or genres, direct instruction and writing strategies. Again, the use of visual aids is useful for all students in this classroom, and collaborative idea gathering or generating for students with limited background knowledge in a specific area. These instructional approaches can be differentiated by including concrete interest-based writing topics for different students, again for purposes that are authentic to them and their experiences. Additionally, supports should be individualized based on student needs and abilities. So various graphic organizers, including paper-based or web-based graphic organizers. Here are some examples of transcription approaches that have been shown to be helpful. Sight word practice, including common word lists, such as the Dolch sight word list or Fry's 300 instant sight words. Phonemic awareness practice. Here is an image of phonogram flashcards found from readingatoz.com. And an example of a cover copy compare worksheet. This is a sample worksheet found from teacherspayteachers.com where the student is prompted to copy a word from their word list, cover it and write it from memory, and then compare it with the accurate spelling to make sure they can account for any errors. Examples for targeting sentence level skills include sentence combining activities, which have been shown to be helpful in increasing students' command of syntax and their ability to write increasingly complex sentences. An example would be providing 3 simple sentences and then modeling different ways to combine those sentences into 1 or 2 different longer sentences. Then students can be asked to judge which sentence sounds the best, and then can be guided to practice that skill on their own within their own writing. Finally, some examples of composition supports, including the use of graphic organizers. Poplet is an online web-based platform where students can work individually or collaboratively with scaled levels of teacher support to complete graphic organizers, either organizers that are developed by a teacher or that can be generated by the student themselves, depending on their ability level. And finally, direct instruction for actually producing a writing piece can incorporate mnemonic aids for different text or genre types. One example is the acronym DARE to be used to produce a persuasive writing text. And this acronym stands for Develop a Topic Sentence, Add Support, Reject Opposition, End with a Conclusion. Mnemonics like this can be used to remind students all of the pieces that need to be included in their piece. And finally, to assess progress, a combination of analytic and holistic assessment measures is recommended because this provides both objective assessment and more subjective components that are often used in high-stakes testing assessment. Analytic measures include objective measures such as story grammar analysis, total number of words, number of different words, measures of sentence complexity, and mechanical errors. These are objective because the results will be the same regardless of who is completing the assessment. Holistic measures may vary by assessor. This includes rubrics such as the 6 Traits of Writing rubric, which assesses ideas, voice, organization, word choice, sentence fluency, and conventions in writing. Price and Jackson also recommend using a combination of word level, sentence level, and discourse level measures, which align nicely with the instructional approaches in transcription, sentence construction, and composition. Students with disabilities, including autism spectrum disorders, exhibit deficits in literacy skills that impact their performance in academic curricula, as well as state-mandated assessments. Their deficits often span the word level, sentence level, and discourse level skills, and interventions need to be tailored to target improvement across all three of these domains. Combinations of direct instruction and student practice of these skills has been documented to show improvement in writing fluency and writing quality. The challenge is that teachers need to find time to address individual student literacy needs using evidence-based practice. The approaches listed in this presentation can be worked into existing lessons and across multiple disciplines or content areas to support student literacy development.